Look at that. Through the silk, Frank slips into the room. Right, everyone. How you doing? Good to see you. Friday night again. It's that time of the week. What you're listening to, or Four Men with Glasses, as we renaming the show.
Got a bulk deal.
It's gonna be a great show, as always. So thanks for tuning in on a Friday night. Let me do the little. I didn't do this last week. I forgot the old housekeeping last week. Let me do the old housekeeping. The old like and subscribe. Help us out. There you go. There you go. Let's get that out of the way. There we go. Let's open the chat. If anyone's watching, make yourselves known. Help us out. Be kind. Not too much heckling. We can take a bit of heckling, but not too much.
Behave yourself, Vincent.
Behave yourselves, as we also behave ourselves. All right, let me introduce the crew. Matthias is back. Good to see him, Brian. Frank's back. Shep's here. Thanks for coming on, Shep. Good to meet you. Good to see you.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. It's gonna be a good show. For anyone like stumbling upon us by accident, it's a simple concept. We've each got 5-ish records that we're gonna have a good time talking about, nerding out about. I have no idea what anyone else has picked. My picks are also top secret, so it's going to be an interesting.
Hermetically sealed in an envelope.
Yes. Even I don't know what they are. They're that secret. That's what we do. Regulars will know the score. That's about it. It's going to be a great 2 hours of nerding out about some great records. Hey, Tony's here. Hey, Tony, what's up? Oh, Frank's.
Oop, I lost you.
Oh, Frank's. Oh, there he is.
He's all right, back.
There he is. All right.
Can we type into the chat? We're not supposed to.
No. This is just
incoming.
I like bring up any interesting comments. I'll bring them on the
we
screen.
Can't defend ourselves against.
You're defending.
All right. I'm gonna start off with my first pick. This is kind of a gift for anyone who's into, like, let's say like late 80s, early melodic UK hardcore from the Leatherface school of things. In fact, there's a big Leatherface connection to this band. It's actually a little bit confusing. I think I've got this right. So the bassist was the original bassist of Leatherface on like Cherry Knoll, which I love Cherry Knoll. A lot of people maybe a lot of Leatherface fans like maybe don't even know about that record. I know it's like a real like one that was only really liked in the UK. And then there's like another guy, Ian Syborn, who drummed in Leatherface for a while. And then Graham, who was in the final lineup of Leatherface and does Little Rocket Records and is in that band Roach Squad. He was also in this band. Let's show the record. I'm talking about this band, Ran, which was recorded in 1994. The Ran in this case is taken from the Japanese, which means chaos. Ran means chaos in Japanese. Man, it was recorded in 1994. The band broke up. There was some acrimony between members, blah, 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 and it's kind of sat unreleased until now. I mean, it just came out like end of 2025, beginning of 2026. I actually watched a little video with Aston, the guy. This is on Boss Tuneage Records from the UK. Aston from Boss Tuneage, like 3 years ago, he did like a 20-minute video about this band, like telling the story about like, man, this is one of my biggest regrets of like Boss Tuneage. Like I never got to release this record. Like, hopefully one day I'll be able to like contact all the members and like blah, 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 and get all the work done. So like, yeah, 3 years later, like it finally came out and it's amazing, man. If this had come out at the time, this band, that band China Drum, I don't know if you know that band China Drum. They were kind of like a melodic UK hardcore band that had like a little bit of like indie rock and grunge in them. And they kind of had a lot of like professional promo videos. They were on MTV, but they, really, really great band. This kind of does remind me of like China Drum, like a little bit. It has a little bit of that indie rock in there. But man, it's a travesty that this was not released at the time, and it's like amazing that it's like finally come out. I can't recommend this record enough. It does have a little bit of that Dickie Hammond like guitar tone. Dickie Hammond doesn't play in this band. He was like a huge fan of them, and there's also the demos LP, Out of Chaos, which all the demos were produced by Frankie Stubbs up in Sunderland. This is a Sunderland band. So they had like close ties with Leatherface, and it's a real like gift for anyone who's like a fan.
Did those get released together?
They got released together. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And both from the same time period?
Both from the demos are earlier, but early 90s. The LP, which was never released, was 94, recorded in 94. It's a little bit more polished. The demos are more like straight ahead melodic hardcore. The LP has that kind of like China drum, slightly indie rock feel. Man, just amazing. Like every song is amazing. Like if you're a fan of that old school like UK melodic hardcore, this is an absolute like must. And I know Tony is a big fan. And Tony, did you order them for yourself or for the store? Because there might be a few people that might want to order this, but
ordered it just now.
Well, I'm usually a sucker. I'm usually a sucker for anything that anybody attributes anything to like Leatherface. I'm going down that road. So
I mean, it's beautiful. Listening to this was just like, man, in a way, it's good it didn't come out in 94 because like finally we get to hear it like now in like 2026, and it's amazing to hear this stuff. Yeah, and actually, you know what? I don't know if you guys. I'm doing a cheeky one here. I don't know if you guys know like this band, the Diaz Brothers.
They're shot 3 records. What's going on?
Like the Diaz Brothers are a modern.
There's hope for you, man.
yes, they're another connection to the Leatherface.
I just want to put this. It makes sense. Trust me, it makes sense. Like this band is the Diaz Brothers, like a new band, a modern band. Who I don't know, like Ran is kind of almost reminds me of like a precursor to the Diaz Brothers, who are ex HDQ. Who are kind of doing like this like Leatherface-ish kind of thing with like a bit of like indie rock or like in there as well. So yeah,
I had never heard of Ran, but the Diaz Brothers I'm familiar with. And so if it's in the same, I'll be.
There's very slight similarities, especially with this. You can hear that kind of like indie rock influence a little bit in this album. Just great stuff, man. It's and Tony from Celebrate the Summer is going to have some for the store, so
nice.
You know where to get them.
Where to order from?
Nice. That's my first pick. Really beautiful to have this stuff finally come out. Yeah. There you go. That's my first pick. I managed to sneak in 4 records. All right. Matthias, what's your first one?
All right. Let's see. Let's chronological order in the beginning.
Okay.
So, that transition of like early 80s DC hardcore into that mid era, like the Embrace Rites of Spring era, and you often hear them go back and talk about, the Empire Expensive Sound LP as kind of being this inspiration to some of that musical change. This record, I didn't know about this record until relatively recently when a friend of mine mentioned it, and he had seen, I think it was Mike Hampton of various DC infamy, had talked about it on Instagram or something like that. So I checked it out. Just looking at this record, I want you to, particularly maybe Shep, tell me what you think, what this reminds you of. But this is early 80s. This is, I think, 81 or Scottish band.
Oh.
And when I finally got this record and listened to it a bit, I realized I have heard this band before. Ages and ages ago, I used to have Mutant Pop 78, 70, or I think it was like 77, 78, 78, 79, like that Fast Product comp, that Gang of Four and the Mekons and Human League. And this band's first EP is on that record. And that's this band called Scars. Now, if you're looking at this, Shep, is this like graphic style bringing anything to light for you?
It reminds me of Ignition stuff, honestly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It looks like
Absolutely.
Ignition.
Well, it looks
kind of bit this a little bit, right?
If it wasn't like so brightly colored, it would be dead on like Ignition feel for sure.
Yeah.
almost looks like a current 4 7-inch as well.
I mean, I never heard of this band though.
I
I mean, I'll be a little bold here. I don't know if I would. I don't know. I don't think it rises to exactly the same caliber, but I think I would lump this in with even a more lost, kind of overlooked classic when I'm, like Comsat Angels or something like that. We talked about several sessions ago. Like,
I'm frozen.
I mean, contemporary bands for them at the time, they get compared to, I don't know, like Echo and the Bunnymen, early U2, Television, stuff like that. But like their contemporary bands were that band Orange Juice, and there was another Scottish band called the Fire Engines, which that album's fucking nuts. Like for the time that came out, like the experimental level of that record is really, really interesting. This band definitely embraced the whole kind of like new romantic kind of like vibe. They had the aesthetic going on and the hair and all of that sort of stuff. And then they just kind of got buried in the avalanche of that late 70s, early 80s kind of like fast product. They were, I think their first 7-inch was on Fast, but this LP was on Pre, which was like a sub-label of Charisma. And I mean, I think the first EP is definitely better in terms of like if you want it to be a little punkier, a little rawer. It's recorded, it's got that edge, that sort of bite to it, where this is definitely more poppy, polished, driving, but it's still got like these really dark, kind of elusive edges to it that you can tell though between the EPs and this. Somebody started listening to a lot of glam rock, it's just interesting record that I never heard this record in particular, and I'd forgotten about the band entirely. There was a big CD box set remaster thing in the early 2020s or something of pretty much all of their recordings, including a bunch of covers by like the Cockney Rebels and David Essex and stuff like that. And I know there's a few Peel sessions that they did too that I don't think they've ever been properly released or anything.
Wow.
But I don't know, it's great. I mean, this record, I can't sneak in a second one, but there's an Italian band called Deaf Ear that did a 12-inch called Waiting, or The Waiting maybe. And those two records, I've been listening to them, that one digitally, but those two records I've been spending a ton of time with. Just, this is right up my alley, and like great find. So thanks, Mike Hampton, for the recommendation.
Nice.
Wow, I mean, like the Scotland, the Time Frame, like all those other bands you mentioned. That I'm intrigued by that for sure. Like, wow, yeah. First time I've never seen that record or heard of that.
Yeah, I know. I'm definitely gonna check that one out.
Oh, the record is called Author. That's the title. Yeah. Okay. And their first EP is called it's Horror Show Backed with Adultery or something like that. And that EP is great. I mean, it's definitely rawer, and they're a younger band, and they got more of that sort of probably like Sex Pistols influence or something. But it's all great. So
nice.
Well, I'm definitely so now I have 3 records that I have to check out.
Already?
Well, you snuck in the second, and now might be an expensive evening
show,
for me.
Expensive show.
Yeah.
Hey guys, is my screen frozen?
No, I could see you were worried about it. We can all see you.
All right, I just can't see me. I just see it frozen image. As long as you guys see it, I guess that's working.
You're still handsome as ever.
Yes.
I don't have to see how ridiculous I look. It's just one me looking baffled by.
You're beautiful, Shep. That's all that counts.
There we go. A little bit of feedback on the. Okay.
Great,
Okay. Cool. All right.
That was a great description. So, like I said, now I'm 3 records deep.
All right.
Good
Let's
to
see.
know.
Now,
Your own
Sell us one,
recommendation.
Hank. You got to sell us one now. Come on.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So for my first pick, I'm going to try to get the emotional one out of the way.
Okay.
So obviously, like we're all big music people, and my wife's family is a very, very musical based family. Every party, people are singing, dancing, karaoke, like it's a big thing. But one person who stood out in my wife's family is her uncle Michael, who over the course of time, I've been with my wife for 25 years, so grown to be like super close with Uncle Mike. But sadly, he passed away on December 10th. I mean, I'm sorry, December 12th. And because of that, he had recently moved out to California, right by San Francisco. So my first band is going to be a San Francisco band.
Okay.
I think they're bi-coastal now, but it's a record that came out this year, and I have not stopped listening to this record. And there's going to be usually a theme with a lot of things I pick are like, I don't want to like this band, but I love this band. And the band is Spiritual Cramp.
Oh,
yeah.
It's the new record, Rude. And the reason I pick it is because, first of all, it's absolutely one of those records that is just filled with earworms. You don't stop listening to the record. You go away from it and you're humming. I whistle it. It's an amazing record, and it's a record that I wish I got to share with my Uncle Mike.
Okay.
So the connection is like he just moved to Sonoma County, just north of San Francisco. His son lives in San Francisco, but he and I would share bands constantly because he's obviously much older than me. So he's like a huge Beatles fan, and I mean, just saw so many bands, and we would try to like meet in the middle on like some newer stuff. You know, I remember like getting my Uncle Mike and his wife Marianne Ann into the Gaslight Anthem from New Jersey, and then us going to see them live. So this was a band where I'm like, I wish I was able to share that with him, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that. But I love the band. I love this record. It's kind of like a garage rock. There's like dub, post punk. Like it's all over the board, but it's just so catchy. I listen to it every time I'm in my car. It's like a complete driving record. My band is currently recording. We're like, the studio's like an hour away. I put that record on, off to the studio. Absolutely love it. And it was just one of those things where I'm like, I wish I could share this with more people. And Mike my Uncle Mike was somebody who, he helped me with my vinyl setup. He helped me get better speakers for my setup. Helped me optimize everything about, you know, all I had was just like, hey, I'm this guy with a turntable. And then he was like, oh, you need this, you need that. Because when you go over his house, he was the guy that was going on and putting on whatever record he had from the Beatles or whatever. And just playing it and just listening to it through a different set of ears made my appreciation for a lot more things that I wouldn't normally listen to that much more. So I recommend it to everybody. I've recommended it to everybody in my band. Other people have latched onto it, bought their first record. Absolute great band. Can't recommend it enough.
For some reason, this band comes up a lot on my social media. Like they're quite active on social media. Like I see like a lot of their the singer, like a lot of like chat with him and like live videos and stuff like comes up all the time. But
yeah, he's definitely a punk kid from San Francisco. He's very everything that I get from him, I'm like, oh, he knows what's up. He just happens to be in a band that's getting traction.
They're quite popular, right? From what I can tell.
Yeah, I mean, they're a band that like. So I used to play in this band called Ghost Armada, and then the bass player Christopher, he was the first person to turn me on to them, and he was like, "You got to check out this band. I think you'll really love them." They remind me a lot of The Clash, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm in on that." So I listened to the first album, loved it. So when the second album came out, the first single off the second album, I'm like, I can't stop listening to this song.
Mm-hmm.
That song isn't even my favorite song on the record. So that just, to me, is a testament to, it's a full album. I don't think there's a single bad song on the whole LP. I bought 3 copies of it because
one for each of all. One for all.
Yeah, right.
because it's a sickness, and if you love something, you need more of it.
Okay.
So there you have it.
Wow. All right.
So there's my first pick, and
Beautiful.
yeah,
That's nice. That's great. Actually, the singer was supposed to come on this show, but he was like through another person, through buyer, but like they're so busy that we could never find a time for him to come on because they're always on tour and stuff.
you know, given a lot of the hits he does, I think he would be like an encyclopedia. He's really into a lot of like old punk, and if you can ever get him on, that would be like a must watch for me.
Yeah.
Shep, you're up.
Yes.
All right. I can't see myself, so if I'm off screen with the record or something, you'll have to let me know. All right. So I'm also going in chronological order. So this one, we're going to go back to 1993. I still listen to this all the time. It's just pretty crazy, but it's a comp record called the God's Chosen People, which was put out by on an Old Glory Records label. And at the time, this was like mind blowing when this record came out to me. And I literally still listen to all of these bands pretty regularly. Can show you here what's going on, but it's got one of my favorite Avail songs ever, Sidewalk. And then we've got Merrill, who I couldn't.
There you go.
Couldn't talk about. So
There you go.
I
There
a
you go.
little sneaky shit here.
Nice.
And then Askance, which was a phenomenal live band back then, and of course Native Nod, who are seeing a whole new resurgence of popularity because of the
reissues
stuff. And then Rorschach, who I can bring up. The first time I was ever a part of the show was when Charles brought our record on the show.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is pretty rad. And this cover is one of the greatest covers ever. It's so like everything about it, the soundbite into, everything. Iconoclast song. Another ironic weird fact is that if you get this, you can see the drummer's penis in the booklet, which is so strange. I mean, I had forgotten all about it, and when I pulled this out, I flipped through the book, and I was like, "Oh, hey, Kevin." Again, greatest the Grey House song on this record is legendary. Like if you hear it once, I had the name of it written across my guitar for like a whole year.
Wow.
And then the Born Against song, Lillian, which some people I think probably think is ridiculous, but I actually saw them play this live at my first Born Against show, and I thought he was insane on stage with the mic in his mouth singing this ridiculous song. And then when it came out, I was like, oh, I get it. It's still ridiculous, but it's fantastic. And yeah, I mean, a lot of these bands shaped music for me back then, or like music into the genre that I pretty much live in now. So
yeah, someone's asking, were these like Sam McPheeters like personal like picks to go on this comp?
No, this was not Sam McPheeters' label. I think you're thinking of the Fear Mel comp, probably.
Okay.
That was Sam McPheeters' comp. This was Old Glory Records, New Jersey. It was actually the guitar player from Iconoclast label.
Okay.
He did a couple other records. I think he did a Maximilian Colby split. He did the
Policy of 3 records.
Policy of 3 records. He did the Hose Got Cable 12.
Is his name Kevin?
No, Kevin was it? Kevin was the drummer.
Okay.
Hold on.
I swear whoever ran Old Glory Records came up to one of the Michigan Fests one time. I think he was a pilot, if I remember right, too. Maybe I'm mixing him up with somebody else, though.
Yeah,
another pilot that you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
one of those pilots I hang out with.
One of the punk pilots that you hang out with.
It's super awesome to hear Grey House mentioned. Grey House is such an amazing band that a lot of people don't tend to talk about.
They were super incredible. Ever Nearing Joy is literally one of my favorite songs ever written. And on Hiltz as a drummer, like such a huge impact on my life, like punk life, like with the shows he did at his house and helping us do shows at our house, and just an incredible drummer.
That record's like a roadmap of like a current tour or whatever in '93 or '94. I think we played with 80% of the bands on that record, like multiple times, right? So except stuff.
my buddy just text messaged me to make sure that I mentioned Ass Factor 4 was also on Old Glory.
There you go.
Oh, so yeah, Old Glory put out a bunch of stuff, and Ass Factor 4 is such another classic band. But that comp has so much good stuff, and we were talking about this Merrill was such an important band for me and my first band. When I started my first band, Murdock, we were pretty obsessed with Merrill. So a lot of our early stuff was like Merrill, Born Against, mixed with like, hey, we think we want to be New York hardcore. Whereas like the whole time, like, you had this whole battle between New York hardcore and the Born Against of the world. We were like, well, bridge that gap. But that comp is just an amazing thing, and Old Glory was really a fantastic label.
They had also done. I had it in I pulled it up because it was next to this, but they did All the President's Men comp. That was them.
That's another great comp.
And Ass Factor 4 was on that. That's good too.
Nice.
I'm not trying to sneak a second.
Oh, sneak away.
I saved that for the third pick.
I'm going to sneak away. I'm going to sneak one in right now on my next pick, so don't worry about that. All right. So, Scotland. We talked about Scotland.
All right.
Okay, this is not my pick, but this record right here was the last pick of the last show of 2025. And I know I bought it after it was talked about on that show, and it could have been one of my favorite records of 2025. I didn't get it until like the first week of 2026. It's the Chords, self-titled album. They're two sisters from Scotland. It's fucking phenomenal. I just want to, this has already been shown, but this, I want to make sure that people who didn't see that show know about the Chords. No H, C-O-R-D-S. It's indie pop of the old school, C86, Sarah Records, jangly indie pop. This is an instant classic. The Chords.
I think you're supposed to say it's not a paid promotion.
It's not. Not paid. This band actually. This band
is doubling down on it.
This band is actually kind of getting some traction. I like Spiritual Cramp. They went out or are going out on tour with. I want to say the Charlatans. I think they went out on tour with the Charlatans. But this band is like just classic Scottish jangle pop, indie pop, as it was made like back in the day. So, Skep Wax Records, Slumberland Records is the label that put this out. And that record, of course, thanks to the power of like the listening forces that are all around us, or maybe it was introduced by someone after the show, I don't remember. But this led me directly to this band who are from San Francisco, New York. This is the Jeanines. How long can it last? Same label, Skep Wax, Slumberland, came out last year. Very kind of similar sounding music, but I don't know. It's funny, like this band does the indie pop and the jangle pop, but like the songs are not as immediately catchy or hooky as the Chords. It took me a couple of listens to kind of, okay, this is pretty amazing. They're kind of drawing on a lot of influences. Definitely like a lot of, there's that Sarah Records thing, the Feelies, the Dolly Mixture, the Shop Assistants, all that's kind of in here. But there's also this like kind of folk element to them, like kind of 60s, like that's why I thought they were from San Francisco, because they have this like kind of slightly psychedelic kind of 60s pop folk thing going on with the vocals. Like you know, like the jangle pop stuff. The vocalist is usually sort of very like just they don't really, they're not great singers. A lot of the singers in these bands, which works perfectly. But the woman in this band has a very expressive voice. Kind of reminded me like of an old like British like folk singer or something. But it sounds kind of weird, but it kind of works perfectly. Her voice and this like jangle pop. And there's a lot, a bit of the Beatles. I mean, I've seen them compared to like the Shop Assistants, the Feet, Dolly, Shangri-Las. I've even seen them compared to like Yo La Tengo. I mean, there's some sort of like more like mellow moments on this record, like acoustic moments. But man, if you're a sucker for like that, the jangle pop, the indie pop, this is like, yeah, another amazing record on Skep Wax and Slumberland that came out. 13 songs in 23 minutes. There's like no fat on this record. That's pretty wild, actually. No fat. That's pretty wild, actually. When you say like 13 songs in 23 minutes, I don't know. This is not the record that you would think of, right? It's like, you know, you might think of like a grindcore record or something. I don't know, but like a hardcore record. But yeah, great stuff. This is their third LP. Came out last year.
As someone with the attention span of a goldfish, that is the perfect album length.
I don't know if you guys checked out the Chords record. Like I mean, that would be my pick over this one if there was a battle. I think the Chords record is a bit better than this. And I know it's not fair to kind of directly compare the two, but it's kind of hard not to when they're both on the same label. They're both like duos and they're kind of playing similar kinds of music. But, you know, they're both great. But the Chords is like a 100% like must. This is like 99.5% like must.
I like the cover art. It looks like a cyanotype. It's cool.
Yeah, it's nice. So
it is a cyanotype. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like
that designer eye.
Yeah, it's great. You know, I just love like in like 2025, 2026, just all these great bands. You know, mining the past, but like doing something fresh with it.
Yeah,
it's my second pick. Jeanines.
All right, you're making me change my next pick then.
All right. Okay. Nice. Oh, were you going to show this?
No.
Okay.
That would have been awesome.
Okay.
that would have been pretty wild. But yeah. But I am going to go kind of more with like the singer, not a duo, but more like a singer-songwriter thing. Definitely not. Well, I would say it's not punk musically, but I think a lot of the messaging or the approach is relatively punk at times, or at least from a resistant culture. So was it last time we were on? We were talking about Pentangle and Bert Jansch.
You know, sure were.
I spent a lot of time listening to Bert the past few months. I went out and bought a bunch of records I was missing.
Oh yeah,
and just been having kind of a love affair with that.
So good.
And I think when I talk about him, I talked a lot about my love of protest music and folk music. Mm-hmm. This record I've probably listened to more than any record in 2025. I bet. And this is his 5th record in the year of 2025.
What?
Four actual studio LPs, and then kind of like a live album of 50 or 60 songs. It's kind of like an internet phenomenon. American singer-songwriter from Arkansas, definitely in the tradition of like John Prine, Guthrie, Bob Dylan, straight up that thing. Bounced around through various solo and rock attempts and sort of eventually pivoted into folk music. And I think early 24 and got a lot of internet success, just kind of singing about all the bullshit that's going on in the world. I think his big kind of hit thing was like when that guy, Brian Thompson guy, got assassinated from United Healthcare. And this is one of the 5 albums he released in 2025. So it's this Jesse Wells. Yeah, I mean, man, this record's so good. I mean, like it's definitely a internet hype kind of thing, internet hype train kind of deal. But this fucking record is, well, I would say it's probably the more personal record that he did. A lot of his stuff, like he writes songs for kids, but then he also writes songs that are like straight to the point about some fucked up thing in the world. He's done stuff that's just acoustic, bluegrass, finger picking. He's done stuff that's full band orchestrated. This one I would say it's full band. It's a little more electric, but it's still definitely got like roots in like folk and Americana. And it's definitely a little more personal, like from a lyrical standpoint, but there's tons of political moments in it. And, he's got a massive following online. I think he's even like up for Grammys art like this year, like very well recognized, playing like all the big bluegrass and folk festivals in America. I think he was on Colbert and all of that stuff. Just, but it's completely self-released. He releases all of his own stuff. Lyrically, it's really fucking sharp, really clever. And I think a lot of his songs were done like in a lot of his songs were done on this album were done in acoustic first. They were in acoustic state first, but then, and honestly, some of those acoustic versions of these songs might be even a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like this record's nuts. Like it's really, really good. It kind of takes on like, I don't know, like the whole idea of like pilgrimages. There's a song basically about, I think it's, if I'm reading the lyrics, I'm interpreting it. It's kind of like about Christ's resurrection and him coming out of the fucking tomb and going, man, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, I mean, it's a song he does with Billy Strings on here, who's just like a fucking bluegrass maniac. But yeah, I mean, I think he's got like three other studio records, and then one of the studio records, they did a complete live version of it in a basement on YouTube, and it sounds completely different. So it's like a completely alternate take of the album that they just literally let the camera roll and they play all 45 minutes of it nonstop. And it's fucking incredible. Like there's really, really, really good musicians that he's playing with, and he's really good musician. So, I mean, I think, yeah, like if you like any of that kind of stuff, and I mean, some of his stuff's really goofy. Like he's got songs about bugs and, like, yeah, like you put a children's album.
I'm ashamed to say that I only really know him from his social media clips.
That's
but that stuff is genius.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. The song about bugs is awesome.
I mean, I think a lot of his social media stuff is like just the proving grounds for, like him out in the weeds, like under the power lines, singing these songs, just him and an acoustic guitar, and that's it. I saw him a couple months ago here in Chicago. Half of his set was just him and an acoustic guitar, and half of his set was with a full backing band. And like, I mean, both of them are just equally really amazing, I think. So, I mean, it's definitely a little internet
with a backing band.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's one called, I think it's called With the Devil, and then the YouTube version of it, I think is called Devil's Den, or vice versa. I can't remember. That's a full band, that whole record. It's really different but good. So
his internet, every song he puts out is so catchy, and then like you listen, like even if you don't catch the lyrics on the first time around, you catch it on the second time. You're like, oh, it's very smart, and just he's got a great ear. And
yeah, he's definitely like hooked into the, I mean, the way everything over here at least is, well, maybe the whole world, but here in particular is really messed up. He's really hooked into that sort of, all you fascists are bound to lose kind of energy. And like people are really feeling it, So like, I mean, people need a voice like that or need art like that, right? So, and he's definitely delivering on that front. So I don't know. I've just listened to it so many times in the car. When I'm alone in the car, it's the kind of thing I like to put on, and it's just it's comforting, I guess, in a way too, because it's definitely in the world of music I really like. It's smart and it's contemporary. So
nice.
It's looking like an expensive episode for me.
Yeah.
Especially since he's got 4 albums, right? I mean,
oh, come on.
Is that Matt, is that the record you'd start with?
Pilgrim, yeah, this is Pilgrim. So like, I think this is the best of the
Okay.
records that we put out in the last year. I think Devil's Den is, or whatever it's called, With the Devil or whatever. I think it's great, but I think this is more folky, and this is going to tie into a pick later in mind. But it really kind of just questions like what's worth saving from American culture at this point. Like that's kind of what this record's, I think, trying to say. And that really is going to tie into a later pick. So
cool. All right,
solid.
Nice. All right, Frank, what's your next pick?
All right, second pick. I said everything's a game time decision. All right, I'm gonna go with this one. Canadian band. They're from Ottawa. Yes, they're from Ottawa. Drummer was in I like to tie things into a lot of things 90s. So he was in later 90s, probably into the 2000s, Three Penny Opera. Drummer was Hayden Menzies, who's now an artist. But the band is called Mets. And this was their last record, Up on Gravity Hill. See if I can get the whole thing in there.
There you go.
They're a band that played, like, I always kind of attributed them to kind of like the Nirvana worship when they first started. And then they kind of grew into a band that just became a bit of a wall of noise band, but a lot of, and I talked about this on the last episode, is I love John Reese. There's not a thing John Reese did that I don't like. And I found that, and then Mets actually did a Record Store Day 7-inch with John Reese, which is awesome.
It's Mets with a Z, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I knew I'd seen that name, and that's probably where it was with the John Reese thing, with the John Reese.
They're a band that, like, no matter, like, you could put any LP on from Mets, and I'm in. I love this band. They were the band. So on the last episode, they were the band that, like, I just didn't want to leave out because, like I said earlier, like in that episode, there are bands that just, like, it doesn't matter. I just always listen to them. So it was like, do I need to do them on this episode, or if I'm able to do another episode? Because it doesn't matter. I'm always going to be listening to them.
Right.
But this record, it was like kind of like the full evolution of the band. And after this band, they decided to kind of go on hiatus. The guitar player he has a side project called Weird Nightmare that's got another LP coming out. He has one LP on Sub Pop. I think he has another LP coming out. Okay. But it's just this wall of noise in, again, like I said, it's a bit of Nirvana worship, but it's like, it's the next evolution. Mm-hmm. So when I try to explain it, like, I work with, when I'm hanging out with the people who are into the music I'm into, it's easy to explain, but a lot of times I'm not in those scenarios.
Right.
So I work in a I don't even work in the industry, but my job consists of people from all walks of life, and it's hard to explain something. So I can usually equate things like, okay, Nirvana. Mm-mm-mm. So like, even when I'm trying to, like, when people are like, what does your band sound like? They're like, does it sound like Metallica? I'm like, nah, heavier. And then they almost have no frame of reference. So this band, if I say Nirvana, at least can get people into the house.
Right.
But I think Mets is so much more, because there's an underlying more melody. I think just everything is smarter. And I know that sounds weird to say, like, oh, because Nirvana was such a big band. But the sound of Mets is just, to me, it hits on just so many things that I love. That it's one of those bands I'll always go back to. When I'm driving, which is where I spend, if I'm not at home trying to put a record on and pull out the record and kind of look at all the liner notes, it's, to be honest, a lot of my music listening is done in my car. Commute to work, commute to different trainings and stuff like that. A lot of times I have like an hour or so commute. it makes for the best listening experience for me. I can just crank it in my car. It's my fallback to when I need to know sound. I know the perfect sound in my car, so I'll crank the. So like when Shep sends me, "Hey, listen to this," or like any of my friends' bands send me a band recording, I always go to my car and listen to it. And Mets is one of those things that I always go back to, crank in my car. Love them. Can't recommend them enough. I probably say that far too often, but it's another record where you, if you need it, you need to buy.
You have a problem.
Yeah, and then if they put it out with an Obi strip,
look
you
at
need
that.
it even more.
Yes, exactly.
And I probably will pick up another 2 additional versions of this, just because. Yeah, I love them, and that's the problem is that this is, I think maybe their 4th LP, and I probably have every edition of every LP they've done. Lost the headpiece. Like I said, this record may not have the John Reese worship that I attribute to the album before. The album before might have been recorded by John Reese, come to think of it, which is like it reads John Reese all over it. But if you took like that marriage of like that Nirvana sound and then John Reese's influence and put it in, it's Mets. It's like, it's just a perfect marriage of that just wall of noise sound with that melody that just kind of cuts through, that you're just like, how are they doing it? That's the band.
Nice. Beautiful.
I might have
I'm
something.
not familiar with them, but I know a lot of the people I play music with were big into them for a while. Yeah.
All right.
I have something in my pile that Frank will like later. Am I up?
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm going to go from 93 to 97 now. I listen to this record pretty much nonstop, at least a couple times a week. It's a band from San Diego called Nema.
I knew it.
Records in my top 10 of all time records, probably. It's not punk. It's almost prog rock. I mean, I guess like on some weird level. But they also had a bunch of different sounds from when they started to when they ended. And this band evolved into Black Heart Procession, if anyone's familiar with that.
Okay.
2 of the guys from Black Heart Procession were in this band. I remember when this record came out, I was a fan because the 2 records before it were good, and it was really interesting. They don't have a bass player at the time, or a guitar player at the time, and I remember being really like kind of blown away. Getting stuck reading. Sorry. But anyway, top track on this record, without a doubt, is a song called "The Longest Day." It's like, when you feel terrible about everything and you want to make yourself feel even worse, that's the song to go to. This is honestly, I had the first pressing when it came out, and then at one point in my life I sold all my records because I was an idiot. So this is actually a repress, but the nice part about the repress is that it comes on this beautiful red translucent vinyl. It's double LP, so it sounds really, really good because it's broken up across 2 records. It's just everything about this record is everything. Like, there's nothing. Like, I'll fight someone over this record. Like, there's nothing that could make the record better. It's got Rick Froberg singing some backup vocals, and I believe Rob Crow from Pinback. I love everything about this band. So I could not recommend this record highly enough to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, Tony just said it was like in his top 10 of all time. Like,
absolutely top 10 of all time. And they did a bunch of 7-inches after this too, and they're like, every time something came out, I was like, holy shit. Like this can't get better. And then I'd be like, oh, the piano is like, it's just like just super incredible. And the story behind this is great too, because I think they got signed to a major label, and the label gave them like a shitload of money. And I think they went, this is what I, you know, like folk stories you hear, like that they went and recorded like and lived in some like crazy house like in Big Bear or something, and like recorded this whole crazy record for like way too much money, and then sent it to the label, and the label's like, the fuck is this? Basically gave them their own record, and then they went, and I believe Touch and Go at the time is the label that put it at the first time. Like, but I remember being baffled by that. I was like, how could someone not like this? But you know, label people that like, is it marketable? But I mean, to me, so this is where I'm going to sneak in my little cheeky twofer here, as you called it.
Bring it on, bring it on.
Because this is the record that came out before, and while I do love it, and it's not, I don't love it nearly as much as this record, but the packaging of this record is everything that the 90s was when everyone was when everyone was in a contest to make the most annoying packaging possible to if just trying to listen to a record. This
hot glue and burlap.
Towers above all. It's a burlap record. It literally has like a wire clamp that you have to untie to open it, and then you wrestle with it for like an hour to get the record in and out. And this one is on really pretty blue vinyl too, which if you give me a half an hour, I can show you. There we go.
There you go.
But super creative band, super great, and they did stuff all across a bunch of crazy labels too that you wouldn't expect. Like they were on Touch and Go, they Gravity Records, they just hit all these different like weird spots, and really, really incredible. I even named my cat at the time after the piano player. That's how much I love them.
Shep, that was the record. Like, I when I knew you were going to be on, I thought that was going to be one of your picks.
Okay.
I absolutely
and not almost, and I think we've only maybe had a slight conversation about them, but like that record to me, when I listen to you talk and when you play, it's there.
That's like the biggest compliment I've ever gotten. They're like my white whale too. I've seen all the different bands that they were all in. All the like I've seen Pinback, and I've seen all the all the Rick bands except for Pitchfork, and I've seen Blackheart numerous times. I've never been able to see 3 Mile Pilot. It's very annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But they play every once in a while still, so hopefully I'll get them.
Cool. They're still going.
Yes, the puppy made an appearance.
Wow.
Shep, look.
All right. Nice.
So that's my second. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Also, hello, Vinny and Maddie.
Vinny has been active in the chat.
We can't see it, Vinny.
Was there a lot of pickle talk? That we
Not
can't
yet.
see?
Don't encourage him.
I'm all for it.
Other kind of talk.
All right. I'm going to go Canada. I'm going to change my order around. I'm going to go to Canada. This band came up after the show last week. Because they've got a new record coming out on Neon Taste Records, and Josh from Neon Taste Records was on last week, so we're having a little bit of chat about this band. And I was like, man, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this band before on here, and I haven't. Nobody has. So I was like, so I took the records out, and I was like, man, yeah, this is a band that I have to talk about. Here we go. It's the Transmitters.
Huh?
From
that's a nice record cover.
It's beautiful, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
There you go. Yeah, from 2007. They're from Vancouver.
Huh.
This is their only LP. They have like a whole shit ton of singles on like Dirt Nap and Ugly Pop and Deranged. And as you might have guessed, they're a power pop band. But this is power pop made by punk rockers who have like studied the history of like power pop, and like honestly, like every single song on this record could have been like, the A side of a 45, like back in the day, a hit power pop single. But this is like more. This is not Big Star. This is like more like Marked Men, Exploding Hearts. It's that kind of power pop, right? It's fucking punk like power pop. Yeah, like every song is killer. They've been in like the Smugglers. There's people from the Smugglers in this band, and Bum. But yeah, I mean, this is 2007. It's been a while, so I was kind of surprised that they have a new record, a new album coming out this year. So I'm excited for that. It's got a little bit of that sort of like amphetamine fueled like neo mod to it too, like that. A lot of hi hat action, which keeps it really peppy. Man, every song is like, so catchy. It's not a stretch to put them up there with like the Exploding Hearts or the Marked Men or any of those kind of like modern punky power pop bands. Great stuff. I can't wait for the new album. And weirdly enough, the CD this is on Deranged Records, but weirdly enough, the CD version came out on Stiff Records, which is quite something considering like the history of that Stiff Records had with like Motorhead and the Damned and yeah, it's weird to see Stiff Records putting out a CD by a contemporary band. But anyway, great stuff. Yeah, undeniable record if you're into that sort of dirt nap records, power pop, punky power pop stuff. This is up there with all the classics. Radioactivity, Marked Men, the Red Dons, all those kind of bands. This is in that kind of ballpark.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I've been
expensive episode.
I've been doing a little bit of a Vancouver deep dive lately, but I hadn't gotten to them yet. But
yeah, I mean, it's like honestly, they're not really an albums band, as you can see. They have like, I don't know, like 10 or more singles out, and then like one album, right? They're more of like a singles band, but yeah, works just as well on an album, but yeah. It's all about the songs, the songwriting with this stuff.
Sure.
If you've got the sound, that's all well and good, but unless you've got those killer hooks and those great choruses,
I'll definitely check it out. Deranged Records puts out a lot of good stuff, so it's I probably should have picked a Deranged Record band. Come to think of it,
it's not so Frank.
No, I was Deranged Records. So. There you go.
All right. This might be one you already have, Frank, maybe, possibly. Cool. So might save you a few bucks here. So yeah, this one, I'm going to say this record's also very much about failing systems and letting failing systems fail, or rejecting the sense that there's really anything worth saving, and sort of time to find a new answer kind of idea. It's also very much a sci-fi concept record. Think Logan's Run to a degree, or something like that. I think we just passed the 12th, year anniversary of Sarah Kirsch's passing, which is kind of impossible to reconcile sometimes, given how absolutely relevant the bulk of what she was involved in is right now. I think the first time I was on, I professed my undying love for Christo Thunder and talked about the Mother Country Motherfuckers LP. That was my sneaky second pick. This is the last kind of like full album that was really fully realized while she was still alive. The Mother Country's record was finished after she had passed. And this is like the direct kind of line from Please Inform the Captain. This is a hijack into Batter Brains Lost Hope Colony EP. Man, so good. Clean Plate. This is like 2012, I want to say. Clean Plate, Ebullition, and Empire put this out. Empire, who also did a lot of that other stuff, including Crisco Thunder EP that I showed. And like, I think I called all this type of music just like smart hardcore. And like, it's, but like I said, it's also kind of like a sort of like a sci-fi kind of punk opera in a way too, where they're, they've manufactured like, revolutionary groups and all of these sort of things that they've baked into this sort of mythology that like kind of runs rampant through both of their LPs. And a lot of people kind of like go, oh, Batter Brains, that's kind of a stupid name. But I think if you unpack that name, like it is, there's a few layers there, right? I mean, one, of course, it's homage to great legendary punk band, but also the RAF in Germany in the 70s, and Andreas Bader, whose brain was removed by the German officials and studied. Like, there's just so many weird, good little like layers to that I really think that the name is kind of doing the same thing that the music is doing, right? Which is sort of like taking this revolutionary iconography and these signifiers and just kind of recontextualizing not only the music, but kind of like the lyrics and the names. It's super, super earnest, super passionate, super smart, political, just fucking uncompromising record, like everything pretty much, particularly that Sarah touched. And I mean, to me, this record's still just as much of a beacon as it was when it came out. Like today I will listen to it and still kind of get a little you know, like it's kind of even more increasingly relevant, I think, as we look towards our future being super unstable every day. Yeah, just great record. And like I think the other one, which is like what the young anthem, what's it called? Unfinished Anthems of the, I'm gonna draw a blank on it, but I think this one is like a more fully realized, even though it's called an EP, it's still an LP, really. I mean, I think it's 13 or something. No, maybe not that many, but it's still a relatively long record. But it mixes like really good, uncompromising hardcore with also sort of like, you know, almost sort of like intermission kind of like set pieces with like kind of, you know, a lot of good like sampling and just excellent record, and like still relevant as hell, and always going to be on the turntable at some point till I'm gone.
I actually had Navio Forge in my pile, but
there you go.
I narrowed it down. So,
well, anything Sarah had
absolutely
a touch on is always going to be
all of
up here. And you know what, a great tie-in though, Matt, was that it you know, Evan from Reds had put out a Batterbrains record, and you know, he was another one who I think we probably all share the same opinion. It's just that everything she touched was just amazing. Everyone who knows me is like Torches to Rome is it for me. To me, Torches to Rome was one of the most perfect bands ever. It's untouchable. In
like one of the best live shows I ever saw.
You know what the crazy thing is? Like, Shep, we were probably at the same show, and we didn't know each other at the time. So that was because to see Torches to Rome in New Jersey, and have Sarah just turn the microphone to the crowd and be like, "It's your microphone," influenced me. So when, you know, and I 100% ripped it off, and then would say that when my old band would play a show, I would say, I saw this band, Torches to Rome, and this affected me, and now this song that my band is doing is going to do the same exact thing. And it was like turning the microphone over to the crowd and just saying, we wrote this song, and you guys are going to do the vocals. Doesn't matter what it is, you guys are going to do it. And that has had a lifelong impact on me. So, you know, all credit. And then everything that she did after that was just cherry on top. And, you know, I love the tie-in because, you know, Evan is another one who, another guy from our circle that is a very important guy, you know, and Matthias put out his record. So, although I kind of thought it was going to be someone else's pick, so I didn't put it in my pile. But the Reds album that Matthias put out is another record that
smokes.
Incredible.
People got to grab.
That's just
I'm very
long live the Wild Boys, right? So, yeah, that record's nuts. I love it. Always
I'm
will.
so awesome pick, man.
Nice.
yes.
All right,
Frank, what you got?
Another. What do I pick? Game time.
Roll a die.
All right.
Roll a die.
All right, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this. Knoxville, Tennessee. Kind of a sludgy trio. Heavy. Well,
Guessing right?
Generation of
Uh-oh.
Vipers.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. I got a magnet on my fridge right now.
Yeah. Oh. So good. The rhythm section. So I think a lot of the emphasis on this band, it gets focused on a lot of the guitar sound, but to me, it's the bass and drummer are so solid. One of the I got to put I'm holding it like an idiot.
That's okay. I always do that.
So right off it's the album's called Guilt Shrine. It came out on Translations Lost record.
Okay.
It's the latest record that came out, and it was after like a little bit of a brief hiatus. So funny story is, and
hold on, Frank. This was going to be one of my picks, but it's not the same band.
No,
there you go.
How weird is that?
Yeah.
This is the Chino Horde guys, or Steve from
here.
Chino Horde. Yeah, they're from Little Rock though, not Tennessee.
Well, but now I have another record that I have to check out. So how this? So I got my love for this band came from my best friend in the world is Elway, who's played in bands of CR. He's played in a million bands, but he's been best friend forever. He was very active in the chat in our first episode. He played in a band called Bastard Sapling, and they went and they played this festival. And he called me from the festival, and he goes, "There's a band playing right now that if there was a band that I'm going to ever recommend to you, it's going to be this band." And it was Generation of Vipers. And at the time, I think they were on their first LP, Grace, or their second LP, which was I think it was I forgot the name. The first episode I did, I screwed up a band's album names. I don't want to screw this one up.
That doesn't matter.
So I'm just going to go with. He called me and said, "You are going to love this band." So we fast forward, and it was the album Howl and Filth came out. I listened to it, and it was a band that was like, they were raised on Neurosis, and it made sense, and I loved them. They were like Neurosis mixed with like a crust punk band, and everything just vibed. Then there was a couple years lag, and they came out with the album called Coffin Wisdom, which to me was just the antithesis. There was everything they should be. That tour they did from that, I went and I think I saw them on 3 shows. The drummer and bass player were the most locked in rhythm section I had seen in such a long time. I remember I returned to guitar player of my band, Herjaza, Pat, and we were just like, this is ridiculous. And we were hooked. And then they took another break. And then this record came out. And it's so polished. And I don't know if they needed the break, but the break was perfect. Because the collection of songs they wrote, they're from Knoxville, Tennessee. Absolutely fantastic. It's a great record. Translations Lost is a great label. Drew, who runs Translations Lost, is another special guy. Played in a couple 90s bands, Balboa, Elder, and he's also a director in Relapse. But great band. I don't personally know anybody in Generation of Vipers. I just am a huge fanboy.
Okay.
And Guild Shrine is a great record. I recommend it to everybody. Again, kind of if you're into that Neurosis family of music, it fits right in line with that.
Nice.
Again, the rhythm section is just locked in and lets the guitar player play all these kind of like ambient, kind of weird spots, and then he'll come in. So like you'll have these like weird kind of like atmospheric parts, and then when he hits the riff, that's just like, you know, it like you want to makes you want to pee yourself. Generation Vibe, such a good band, so good.
Now I'm sold.
It's going to be an expensive one for you too.
You don't know this band? This version of Generation Vibe?
I'm going to have to check that one out.
So you know that We've Lost Beauty comp that was dedicated to Chris Horn from William Martyr 17. He drummed in this band, and it's Chip from like The Body.
Yeah, this is who I thought. This is who I thought.
And, Steve from Chino Horde and Jason McLeod from Full Service Quartet.
That's where I learned.
It's
about
awesome. I mean, if you want a '90s tie-in, man, it's on. I think it was on Landmark. So I think it's impossible to get, but sorry,
I'm gonna have to check that out though. Oh, really expensive.
Sell some of those multiples that you got.
So if we go, so this one, I behaved myself. I think I have 2 copies of
only
this.
got two. Only got 2 copies.
Yeah, I didn't pull them. I only pulled one, but
you're over here hoarding all the records. People are like, I can't get a copy of this, and they're like, well, Frank has them all.
Right, exactly right. All right, Shep, what's your next pick?
Oh, okay. All right, now we're gonna move forward to I lost my list here. Hold on. 2000.
Okay.
I listen to this at least twice a week. Top 10 records ever for me. All of it. The not just the music. The music's to me like just, you know, super incredible. Lyrics are really great, even though he gets a little like artsy with it, but the messages are there. Just absolutely love this band. And I love this record. It's like one of my favorite design records ever. The packaging is Jason Farrell did the layout. So as a design nerd,
Okay.
I'm like, I've always just loved this package. I actually bought this not that long ago on my band was on tour. I bought it off Gwen at Blind Rage Records. I spent way too much money. I actually had to. This is one of those records. I went outside when I saw it on the wall and called my wife, and I was, can I buy this record? You can buy that record, and I was,
you may.
This particular version is fantastic. It's a double, so it's like 45. Like it sounds incredible. There was a period in my life when this came out. I was living in Philly but working at the Jersey Shore on the weekends, and so I probably listened to this record like 8,000 times that summer, like all the way back and forth. And I have a great at the driving story real quick. Before I had heard of them, they were playing in Philly with a band called Rye Coalition, who we were friends with, and me and my buddy went and we saw Rye Coalition, and then he was like, "This next band's not that good. Let's go get a beer." And so I left the show, and I missed seeing them at this tiny venue. And to this day, I still tell him regularly what an asshole he is for doing that much. But yeah, I absolutely love this record. It's timeless to me. I'm not lying when I say I listen to it at least twice a week.
Wow.
I think it's like everything that like a hardcore or pop post-hardcore. I don't know what genre people would say this is anymore now, but total package band for me. I love them.
Hey, if you were Frank, you would have had to call your wife and say, "I need to buy 3 copies of
Yes.
this."
Yeah.
There's no way she would let me buy 3 copies of this. Oh.
You might have not came home with it at that point.
So I have a very small home, and in every room of my home, there's records.
So, me too.
And and you could see like in every like, you know, square, there's just like a block, and it's like a color block. And my wife always, she's like, "Did you really need 8?" And I'm like, "No, but I wanted them."
You're like,
It's
when I was going through my records for the show, I I kind of knew it. Like people, I have 2 copies of 2 copies of the first Swizz, but they're different colors, so that's okay. But I have 2 copies of Hell Yes I Cheated, and I said to Amanda, I kind of feel guilty having 2 of these. I really should release one of these into the wild.
That's exactly how I felt as you were saying that.
And then Frank's over here like, I got 17 of them.
It's an absolute. So it's a joke between Mike D from Medicinal and I are always texting each other because we're both very much like, it's almost like a fear of missing out. Like you just need it. You know, it's.
He made a post one time of a Judge 7-inch, and it was, I swear to God, he had like 9 or 10 of them on the page.
Yeah, like and it's crazy is that Mike has sold his collection and recollected. He's amazing, and I'm an idiot. I don't have the memory to remember a lot. So a lot of times I buy things and I'm going and I get it home and I go, uh-oh, already got it. Because
that can happen. Right?
Goldfish brain. I don't remember, and then I buy it again.
That happened to me just the other day. Actually, it was quite embarrassing.
But I also have part of the illness. Like I to this day, I have never sold a record.
Wow!
I've never sold a record.
I did it once.
I do it all the time.
I have in my upstairs. So on my second floor, I have a bit of a walkway, and in the walkway, I have boxes of records that are technically I've pulled for sale, but I pulled them
10 years ago.
Yeah, probably 4 years ago. So I want to say I have about 1,000 records sitting in my hallway that I'm like, I'll sell them because I already have multiple copies of them, and then I just don't do it.
Full respect, man. My life has just been so chaotic. I'm just moving around, like squatting, moving across the world. I've had like 5 or 6 like different collections since I was a kid, and even now I often thin the herd and then buy that money to buy other records. You know, that's
what I should do. and I honestly, when I tell you, my wife and I's house, we live in such a small house that it's there's records everywhere, and thank God my wife is a saint. She's perfectly. She puts up with it a lot. Every time I go, I need to thin the herd, and even sometimes when like money's tight, I'm like, hey, if I just move some records, I could pay that bill, and then I'm like, I'll figure it out. And then
the end of that story is that you sell it, and then I can tell you from experience, 20 years later, you buy it back for 5 times what you had stored originally.
But I think that's what keeps me locked in, where I'm like, but I honestly, in my head, even now I'm trying to be better. I say I'm trying to be better, and then like Medicinal puts out a record and I buy 2 copies because why not? Matt put them out on 2 pretty copies. Kirkby Kiss needed multiple copies.
But I get the sense in that if you're buying different colors, I mean, that's like a collector thing.
Yeah, it's the same music.
True. Yeah.
It's the same layout, the same music, but the color looks pretty, and Dumbo needs it.
After college, when I moved to Arizona and I needed a little bit of money, I sold maybe 20 records, and the first record I ever sold was the Grind Crusher comp, and I immediately regretted it. I just immediately went home and I was like, "What the hell am I doing?"
But you know,
I've traded a few records here and there, but like I've never just been like outright like, yeah, I'm done. I can't do it. But I'm slowly getting there at 50. I'm pretty
sure that conversation going home was like, maybe I could donate plasma instead.
All right, let's keep it on track.
Sorry.
The war stories of Southern records.
Episodes have been very compact.
Yeah, we're going off the rails. I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, it's great fun. I love it. Okay, this is a record that I'm not going to be selling anytime soon. It's a record that I'm guessing you can still find in the used bins for cheap. I think it's a modern day classic. As I was checking the lists, as everyone should do, as I was checking this, I was like, man, I thought I had talked about this record before. Maybe I was going to one time, then for some reason I didn't. Nobody else has. I'm excited to talk about this band. It's from the mid-2000s. It was on Sorry State. I think this is one of the most underrated and overlooked bands of that period. They were from San Francisco. I'm talking about Ruleta Russa. Man, I don't know, man. It's like this record and this band is fucking incredible. I mean, it's like they're from San Francisco. All the lyrics are in Spanish. It's just channeling like early LA hardcore. It has the speed and the catchiness of early LA hardcore, kind of mixed with old school like Spanish punk, like Escorbuto. The guitar player is like noodling all over the place, but like tastefully. Every song's fucking catchy as hell. It's passionate. It's just, I know, man. I know, was this band loved in? Like, this came out in like 2013, and I feel like it's just really underrated. The single was in another band called Peligro Social, which I should have pulled out to show, because the Peligro Social album is also another like modern, like fucking classic that every punk should own. And this band is up there with Peligro Social. I can't recommend this band enough. It's like, yeah, second wave UK hardcore or punk, or early Spanish punk mixed with like early LA hardcore. There's even a little bit of like that surf guitar in there. It's fucking amazing. And you can probably find this for cheapish in your local record store or on Discogs right now. Sorry State Records and Trabuc Records co-released this in 2013. And just as a little twofer, this is their second LP, Viviendo una Maldición from 2018, which is just as good. Fucking amazing. Let's say modern. 2013, 2018 is modern, contemporary band that, man, if you haven't checked out this band, be prepared to like be fucking blown away. It's so fucking amazing. If you like early LA hardcore, Spanish punk, the energy level is just through the roof, man. But every song's like fast, but fast in that old like Circle Jerks, early Black Flag kind of fast, that like super peppy energy. There's even a little bit of like surf guitar here and there, maybe taken from like Agent Orange or something. But man, this band was fucking incredible in my opinion, and maybe they're still going. 2018, I don't know. They could be still around. I'm not sure. Let us know in the comments. But yeah, Ruleta Russa from San Francisco. Sorry State Records.
Check that out too.
That's
I'm gonna have a busy. I'm gonna have a busy post show.
Yeah, I think these records are not expensive. I'm just guessing. I think they're one of those ones that is probably out there for cheap in the bins, but shouldn't be. This should be $1 million. Well, not $1 million, but it just should be like a, it's one of those ones where
easy wallet find.
I think so. Yeah,
I'm good with that.
Ruleta Russa from San Francisco. Yeah, the single was in, like I said, Peligro Social. They did a split single with Los Monjo from Mexico, who are also amazing punk band. But yeah, so there's a little bit. There's all of that like classic like LA punk like condensed into like just like a 20-minute record. A little bit of early TSOL, all that stuff. All right.
Perfect for my attention span.
Yes.
I reference that a lot because to me, it's like a 25-minute record. Anything 25 minutes or under is like the perfect record for me. And people argue that that's not really an LP, but to me, it's perfect LP.
I think they're like becoming more like a standard now, like shorter is like less is more now.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's like people are making like LPs that were like 7-inch length, right? But because they're about the same amount of money to make, or maybe even less, right? I heard that like singles are super expensive to make now, so it's almost like cheaper.
Yeah.
But anyway, That's the economics. But yeah, go back to, I want to sort of say like the guitar. There's like a lot of people are afraid of like noodling guitar, but you remember back in the day, like a lot of the early like hardcore records had like just that fucking like just like very economical like ripping guitar, like 3-second solos, you know, like little tasty
I
guitar.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that, especially in hardcore, where it's like
Yeah.
there's parts of songs where like if they put vocals, it would be overdone. Just need that little bit of noodle.
Yes, this has
It's
this band has tons of that all over their records. Like,
yeah. I love that. So
yeah, it's so good. It works so well. It's like so energetic and dynamic, and just those little like 5-second guitar solos. Like
it's all it needs. You don't need more. It's just because it's even those are the parts of the songs that almost become the part you remember.
Yeah, and they're kind of
It's
melodic too. They're memorable. They're memorable guitar, like little guitar licks, right? Not necessarily solo.
Yeah. I mean, to a modern extent, like if you're familiar with the band The Hope Conspiracy, they were always good for that, where they would put these like little guitar licks or little noodles in that just were like the perfect part of a hardcore song that most, I think another hardcore band would like pile lyrics in. Instead, they just didn't. Even if it was just like some weird little guitar bend or just some high pitched guitar, it would set the song perfect.
Right. Yeah. All about the I hear what you're saying, but a lot of people are afraid of like too much guitar noodling in hardcore. But I think when it's done like this, I think anybody can enjoy like a little bit of.
Says the guy in a Dag Nasty shirt.
Brian Baker's different.
I know. It's a wank, not a noodle.
Different style of noodling. These are not noodles. Nice. All right. Matthias, what's your next pick?
Okay, so I've always wanted to talk about, I think, this label more than a particular release on this label. I have, I don't know, 150 plus records released on this label. I've been a member of their subscription service since the beginning. So every year they do a subscription and they put out 7 or 8 LPs and a bunch of 12 inches and 45s, and you get mats for your record player, and you get Halloween cards, and you get all kinds of crazy shit that comes with this deal. And so this kind of harkens back, like when I used to be really, going to record stores in the 90s and stuff and hunting for whatever I could find. I lived around Ann Arbor, Michigan, and there was a lot of like records coming out of like college universities at the time hitting the used record stores. And there's a UK label in the 60s and 70s called Cadman, I want to say. They were spoken art, basically spoken word record label for the most part. And they did all kinds of stuff, but they did some classic horror and they did some Edgar Allan Poe and things like that. And I always really loved that sort of like weird spoken word record you just would come across that you had no idea existed. So I had a pretty big collection of that stuff for a long time. And this label started in like, I think 2014 or 2015. I was like, oh, this is so up my alley. So I immediately signed up. They actually just announced their final subscription. I signed up for like number 15 or 16, whatever it was. And I don't know what they're going to do after that. Now, there is a hardcore connection to this label too, which it kind of blew my mind when I figured this out. So the guy who founded this label is this guy, Jonathan Dennison, who was in like Path of Resistance and Another Victim and The Promise and like all these big, relatively big hardcore bands. I had no idea about that for years. One day I was just reading an interview, but the label is called Cadabra Records.
Okay.
And the record this is my cheap one where I do have a couple records to show, but the main one I'm going to show, because most of what they're doing is spoken art with like sort of an ambient soundtrack underneath. So really think some of the, classic kind of like horror scores from the 70s and 80s with a dramatic reading of a particular story. Now this might've been, they've done Edgar Allan Poe and M.R. James and Clark Ashton Smith and Thomas Ligotti, H.P. Lovecraft, like you name it. They've done a whole bunch of them. And then they started doing horror soundtracks too. So this was put out, I think, in 2016. And you know how movies come out with like a director's cut? This is the composer's cut of Fabio Frizzi's The Beyond.
Oh man!
So the classic Fulci horror film, Italian horror film. What's amazing about this, like, so one, this isn't just a record; it's a complete like work of art, right? Like it's a big double LP. It comes with like this special sleeve for the subscription people. Comes with a barf bag. It comes with stickers, posters, complete write-ups, and all this other stuff. Complete documentation. And not only that, when they went back with the blessing of Fulci's, I think, granddaughter, they found 55 unused pieces of music for the soundtrack. So he went back and basically made the soundtrack that he wanted to make, not the one that he was kind of had to make for the movie. So this ends up being like infinitely longer than the real soundtrack. It's not even a remaster. It's a complete reimagining of the soundtrack. And it's nuts, man. I mean, so like, you know, The Beyond is, I think, the second film in the Gates of Hell trilogy. The soundtrack is a bizarre mix of like rock music and like, you know, orchestral elements, basically. Like it's very, very Italian 70s, right? Like, I mean, not very heavy on the synths on this record, like some of his other stuff is. And he, you know, he's been traveling, or I don't know how long ago this was, but he did a touring kind of thing where he played his soundtracks to the Fulci films. So I think I saw him, and I saw Goblin do a similar thing with some of their stuff, not about probably 10 years ago now at this point. But and then they also did Fulci's Zombie in a similar style. Not as much unreleased musical pieces on this one, but again, it's, you know, it's a complete package. I mean, I could kill a guy with how thick these gatefolds are and the vinyl. I mean, everything is just done at like the quality level, the highest quality level possible. And you know, and like this is an H.P. Lovecraft one they did that he also scored. So he did some Edgar Allan Poe. There's two soundtracks, and he did this The Picture in the House for H.P. Lovecraft, which also comes with a barf bag. I don't know why, but they do. They do. And perhaps one of my favorite ones on the label. I'm a big Clark Ashton Smith. Like, I love his writing, but I also love Robert W. Chambers quite a bit. And they did like this dramatic reading of The King in Yellow, which is a crazy good story. Basically, King in Yellow and Thomas Ligotti got ripped off for the first season of True Detective and weren't credited appropriately. But the artwork, it's all original artwork. It's just, the whole label is like a complete accomplishment. And I've always been really impressed by it. It's so up my alley. Like, it's the kind of thing that makes me want to get a record cabinet just for Cadabra. You know what I mean? Like, I have my Lord of the Rings bookshelf and I have my Cadabra like record shelf. Like, I would be very happy if that was the case. So, wow. But yeah, horror soundtracks to me are awesome. Like, I absolutely love the Exorcist soundtrack. I'll just drop that on occasionally. And the John Carpenter stuff is nuts. And like, so, and a lot of this stuff, what's that movie? Burbian Sound Studio. Have you ever seen that movie? I think it's Burbian Sound Studio. It's Tony Clark. I forget what his name is, but it's about making sound effects for 70s slasher and gallows films, and like, but it's got like a weird horrific bent onto itself too. But yeah, I've always wanted to kind of bring that up, but I was always like, well, they're spoken word records, but hey, wait, they actually did some soundtracks. I remembered that there's very few in that 150, but there's maybe 7 or 8 like actual legit soundtracks they did. So
they look fucking amazing. Those horror soundtrack ones. Yeah.
I just pulled up the website
That's-
And for the last subscription, they sent everyone who subscribed a set of plates from one of their first
Oh.
releases.
Wow.
So I got the metal stampers for.
Plates.
I think it's an Edgar Allan Poe
Wow.
record that they did.
Matthias, are these records available to like non-subscribers? Like these?
Yeah. You can. I mean, not their whole catalog,
Okay.
but they definitely have stuff on their website that you can buy. And they have. Now, I hate to tell you this, Frank, but like every release they put out, there's like 7 or 8 versions plus a wax mage and all this other stuff. So
The wax mage phenomenon is a nightmare to me.
Yeah.
Everybody who puts out it's impossible to get.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
I mean it's so expensive to make, but first of all, the wax mage records are beautiful. Doesn't matter what. I know they have like the specific wax mage and then like the hand poured or the what. They are beautiful, but they're so impossible to get a hand. So I almost hate when people put them out because it's just daunting to me. And then the value of them never really goes down. So they start anybody. It's like they started at such an expensive price. But I'm right now. I have like on my second screen. I'm looking through all these things, and I'm like, the prices of these are already like a good. Like first of all, a lot of them are sold out.
They also have a press. So Cadabra also runs a book press called like I forget what it's called, Cleopatra or something like that, where they do these really, really nice limited like cloth bound versions of whatever. So I'm hooked into that. I'm hooked into that too. I got a few paychecks in mine. Yeah,
I'm a sucker for this stuff. And the wax mage phenomenon has just taken over, and I'm a sucker for it because anybody who like, oh, we're gonna put a wax mage out, I'm like, oh, I need that. And then it's like, oh, we're putting out 25. Great. How am I gonna get that? Yeah, it's a nightmare to me, but I love it. And again, it's all part of the sickness. But I already bookmarked the website, so
horror and so I have a special plan for this world. They did that story. Then there's also the current 93, I think, thing that they did with Legati. But I mean, like Cadabra is pretty much solely in weird fiction and horror.
Okay.
Like for spoken word and then horror soundtracks. So.
But I love that stuff because that's the stuff I'll put on and walk away from and just have it playing in the house.
Yeah. And they've done like a bunch of great like Japanese ghost story LPs.
Oh wow! Okay,
little one-offs. Like they kind of take authors and do like a big chunk of records by an author, but then they have all these like little one-offs that are like, they'll do 1 or 2 records, and like a lot of those are like Japanese horror or ghost story records that are really cool too.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, that was an amazing segment. Actually, I learned a lot from that. I'm intrigued by all of that stuff.
I've already bookmarked it, so.
Very cool. Very cool. Nice. Beautiful.
I can talk about it. Now the subscription service is over. I can talk about it.
That's another. I think subscription services are. I love them. There's a few labels that I subscribe to that are just like, I don't care. I'll pay it and then hope for the best. And the bulk of the subscription has always worked out in my favor.
There you go.
So I'm in for it.
Every single record they release comes with an 18x24
nice movie
poster. So like if I wanted to, I could wallpaper my house with this stuff. But
all right,
Frank, wallpaper your house with records.
Right. Frank, follow that. Your turn.
That's a rough one to follow.
Right, yeah. Pressure's on, mate. Pressure's on. There you go.
Right, so I'm gonna go with another earworm.
Okay.
Record that I tend to go back to a lot. Originally from Portland, Oregon, has since relocated to the Chicago area, and this isn't their latest LP, but it's to me it's the record that I think is might be peak LP, but The band is called Soft Kill.
Oh, okay.
Kind of I'm bad with descriptions, but like whatever wave you want to call it, if you want to call it I don't know, post-punk, new wave, goth, whatever. This band, from my knowledge, is primarily one person, and then he's had a kind of a rotating cast of characters. But this record is called Death Kids, Rest in Peace City, and this was like peak Soft Kill. He's the album that came out after this. I probably would have picked two for this episode, but it was already used in a prior episode, so I went with the.
I thought
LP
Soft Kill that was being talked about before, right?
Yeah, Escape Forever. Originally, when I pulled records, I was like, because they're another band. Like I said, a lot of I'm guilty of. I look up what I've played the most, and it's usually that band I'll go with. And Soft Kill is not a band without some surrounding drama around it, but I actually had a very nice conversation with the main person in this band, and learning about him and what he's been through, and some of the things that have kind of come out about him, and seeing the receipts of how untrue they are, has led me to believe, like, hey, this is somebody that like really just loves music and all kinds of music, and to me just puts out things that just hits me, and songs where I just like I whistle, and that's a common theme you'll hear from me is like when I'm like if I listen to it and then I'm walking around my job whistling a song or humming a song or just a hook of a song, it's that. And Soft Kill is one of those bands where he's gone through this progression, and so like I said, this record was like I thought was peak. Then when Escape Forever came out, I was like, wow, we reached another level. So when he kind of took this hiatus to kind of clear up a lot of the part of my language, but bullshit that he was going through, and again, as somebody who is a person that struggles with sobriety and the learning process from that, I don't want to say it touched me in a way, but like in a certain way where it's like this guy lives for music, and and getting to know him on a personal level is like he kind of lives for music and his son, and just the tie-in between all, it's like it just makes sense for me. And not that I know what it's like to struggle with sobriety issues, but like just anybody who's ever had to deal with anything mental health related, you can kind of relate. And like I said, in talking to him, he touched on a lot of things where I was like, I get it, man. Okay. But musically, everything that this guy has put out has been just chef's kiss, a nod to something. Okay. But just take it to the next level. So like if you ever read anything on them, whatever the description of the record is usually pretty spot on perfect. But when you listen to it, you go like, I get what the reviewer is saying, but it's just that much better. I've never found a review of this record, even myself, like trying to say this, my description of this record has never been quite perfect enough. Love the band. During COVID, they did like a live performance. They put it out on like video, and it was like listening to CD quality music, watching a band perform live. I love every bit of it. So I can't say enough good things about it. I know he just put out, because I just picked it up. He put out demos of some stuff, and then put out a new EP, and he just pre-ordered a 10-year anniversary of one of the old LPs. Okay. So if you can check it out, try if anybody does latch onto this and listen to this, follow his Softkill's current Instagram.
Okay.
Because the current store is the current store. The old store is connected to somebody who might just take your money and not deliver the product.
All right.
So again, I'm being ambiguous because I don't know, and I don't want to know the inner workings of those details. But apparently, somebody who was connected to the band prior is maybe not such a good person.
Okay.
Okay. So that's it. But the current version of it, and the current person that you might integrate with on social media is very honest about his troubles and what he's doing forward.
Okay.
And I appreciate that. So I'm here for it.
Nice. Okay. Daniel's saying there's like 2 different Instagrams because of the drama and stuff. So
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but I try to put drama aside of things because usually I usually, unless it's something egregious, I don't care. I love the music. And again, when this stuff came out, I almost felt funny, and I just messaged the Instagram, and the person I talked to, I was 100% like, I felt like I was in this person's shoes at one point. And I said, I can relate, and I'll stick with. So, stuck with them.
Gotcha. All right, Shep, what's your next pick?
All right. Like Frank said, I'm going to stick in the same year. We're going to stay in the year 2000. That Conan O'Brien thing, that skit, if anyone remembers it. In the year 2000. I am a huge fan of John Reese and especially John Reese, Rick Froberg projects. Together they could do no wrong. Sad to lose Rick recently, or not so recently. I guess it's been a year now, right? But huge fan of. I as a kid, I think I got turned on to them during the first Drive Like Jehu record, and then went back and found Pitchfork. And it was a very unpopular opinion back then, but I was a bigger fan of Pitchfork. Still all amazing, but huge fan of those 2 projects nonetheless. But when this record came out, my brain broke. I'm talking about the first Hot Snakes record. Everything about this, the art. I was in art school at the time. I got a project from a professor where you're supposed to take a band and do a tour poster for a record. And I did this record. And I tried to find it. I've tried to find it so I could show it. I still have the print. I just got the book too. Yeah. But when this record came out and I put it on, it was so raw and so fucking like powerful, and I just couldn't believe like that it could be like better. Like, and I'm not saying at that time I felt like it was the best thing they had done together. Like, now I realize they're 3 different projects and one's not necessarily better than the other. But like, yeah, man, Jehu. But just, and the stories I'd heard at the time about this, I was living in Philadelphia and I knew the drummer Jason Kay, but if and I don't know if any of this is totally true, but like what I understood is that like Reese and one of them flew to the other place and they basically locked themselves in a studio together and wrote like fucking 16 songs in a weekend. And that was this, and then wound up sending it to Rick afterwards to see if he wanted to sing on it. And I mean, just everything about this record blows my mind. It's my favorite Hot Snakes record. I love it all, but when I reach for them, I listen to this pretty regularly. This particular copy happens to be on awesome yellow vinyl, which is cool. And my pick of this album, although every song is perfect, is Let It Come, which is, I think it's the last track, but Let It Come is just like everything. It's just like Armageddon, like the world's fucking ending when you put it on, and it's just like I can't say enough about how great this band was live, how great every
I can't imagine, man.
That's it. Hot Snakes.
Yeah, I was a late comer to that band, and I was that blew my wig off. That one is fuck. It's like so powerful.
Oh,
It's hard to describe. Like, you know, someone just it's like the Wipers on steroids, or like it kind of does
absolutely Wipers.
Kind of take you back to like the MC5 a little bit or something like that. But like,
I had someone point that out to me, like when that was the only record out there. Like, this is Wipers, like worship or rip off, and I was like, well, he's fucking John Reese, so like, I mean, he doesn't need to rip anyone off, I don't think, but like maybe probably worship.
Like drawing from his influences, right?
Yeah. I went and checked out like the Wipers after that because I'd not really been that familiar with them, and totally comparable to, especially in the first record, and the Wipers rule. So I mean, it's pretty great to, you know, if you're gonna borrow from someone, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely love that record. I listen to it regularly.
Yeah. I like all of them though, man. It's like I even like the last record with the Surfer on the front, which some people were like, this is like a real step down. I thought that was a great album too. You know,
I wouldn't say it's a step down. I mean, bands have to evolve. I forget that when people are like, oh, you gotta, you know, like Fugazi, bands like that. They're like, oh, well, it's evolving. Yeah, man. I mean, you make enough records, you're gonna evolve. From what I understand from interviews, there is another Hot Snakes record. That's unfinished, but
wow.
You know, John Reese said in an interview that it will come out, but it's hard for him to finish it up.
Right.
Because of the, like, you know, the feelings he gets when he goes into the studio to start working on it.
Wow.
But apparently, like, I guess Rick did the vocals already, and so, like, you know, eventually, from what he said, there will be a last Hot Snakes record. So I would love to hear that.
That's a great pick, man. Yeah, like I said, I really was only really, you know, I was kind of late coming to this stuff. You know, Rocket from the Crypt were big in the UK, and like I heard a little bit of Drive Like Jehu before that, and so yeah, I mean that LP and the one after that were just mind blowing to me when I finally kind of got around to getting them. I was like, Jesus Christ, such powerful rock and roll, like such passion in that. It's like, man.
That record in particular, so intense.
That is a hard one to follow, so I'm going to stick with the pick that I already had. A bit of a contemporary oi for my last pick. You know, I'm not a huge. I mean, you know, in this day and age, for people like for nice people, for cool people, for people on the right side, you know, a lot of textured post-punk style oi is kind of the big thing right now. A lot of stuff coming out of France, obviously home front. This kind of strain of oi is really kind of, you know, what I guess most of us have been listening to. This band is not like that at all. Let's just show the record. You know, it's this band, La Inquisition. It's their third album. They're from Barcelona. Mundo Invisible is the name of the record, and like it's one of those records that like 10 different labels like helped put it out, which is kind of a thing in Europe. But the two main ones that stuck out for me were LSM, which put out the Lost Legion record from Chicago, and Common People Records, which put out the Infra record. The Infra album was one of my favorite records from last year, like some Colombian, like UK 82 influence kind of hardcore punk. You know what? This is one of those records where I was like, I'd be listening to it a lot. I was thinking, you know what? Probably most people won't really be too into this one, but for some reason, like it really hit me. They are like an oi, like a contemporary oi, like street punk band. But I was like, let's just put like genre tags aside. It's just like a fucking great melodic punk album. Huge production, it really helps. It's like big, like modern production, massive like bottom end, and like the guitars sound like fucking Leatherface or Naked Reagan. It's got those like, you know, those chiming guitars. It's like, this isn't an oi record. This is like a fucking punk record, you know, like I know. This one really hit me immediately. It's a real, like, first listen. I like this. I play it a lot when I'm having a few beers at home during the week. It's like sing along choruses and sing along verses. It's like if you can speak Spanish, you can sing along with both. I know, man. It's like it's not usually my thing, but for some reason this record really hit me. And I think if you like melodic punk with like fucking fuzzy chiming guitars and anthemic choruses, you could do a lot worse than La Inquisition. Kind of reminds me of Bishop's Green a little bit from Canada, if you're familiar with that.
Right. I said that cover does not scream the description.
I was thinking the same thing.
It doesn't, right? So that's why, we kind of get bogged down with like genre tags and like this, that, and the other, and like how a record looks, and like this is an Oi record. They're a street punk band from Barcelona. I know. It's like, I think this is kind of...
That kind of makes me want to listen more.
Yeah.
Because your description versus the artwork makes it a little more intriguing.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting, and the lyrics are all in Spanish and stuff. I mean, the passionate, like, Spanish vocals also lift it, over the edge for me too.
Well, I live in a predominantly Latino neighborhood, so that would probably make me a little more street cred if I blast that.
Wow, La Inquisition.
Because my neighbors don't seem to like Neurosis, so Neurosis is not going over well.
I don't know. I don't know anything about, like, the current, like, street punk oi scene. I know, like, there's bands like Lion's Law from France, and then I think it's even that is like slightly different from Beton Armé. It's like there's just these tiny differences in between, like, sub-scenes of sub-scenes, and it all gets really confusing, and I don't know what band is cool and what band isn't, but I know this record.
But the new sound, we were talking about it on the last episode I was on. It's like there's bands that are doing that sound, but just doing it modern enough where it's just like it just takes it to the next level. And that Beton Army is a good example of that, where it's like maybe if you're from
that too, I think.
Yeah, but like, so we're kind of all of the same age group. Like back, I never really cared for Oi, or like I don't like the older bands, but I kind of like the newer bands.
I always say this, I grew up in England when we hated those dudes, we hated those guys, like.
I guess so the area I grew up in, it was kind of like the street punk Oi kind of kids were kind of always questionable.
Exactly right. Exactly.
So I didn't want any part of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I spent my lifetime being like, not me. I don't care for it.
I mean, Go ahead.
But now it just seems like the kids these days, or the age group or whatever, has moved on, where they like the sound. They just may not have the same personality tics as the older groups. I
think this band is I don't know. I think this band is kind of on our side, if you want to put it that way. I think they're a cool.
Safe way of saying it.
No. I mean, come on. The label put out Lost Legion and Infra, which were two great bands. I think this is
but that's legit. Again, and for me, just seeing the artwork versus the sound is usually to me indicative of somebody who is not looking to be classified in that lane.
Maybe someone who's cleverer than me can actually maybe knows what this artwork is kind of all about. Isn't this like some symbolic, like
it looks like kabuki kind of stuff, like.
Mm-hmm. There's some imagery going on here. There's like a wolf in the hat.
A wolf headdress. I'm in.
And the scythe, and there must be, and this stuff as well, right? There must be. If I was a proper professional, I would have looked this up before the show. But maybe someone can let us know afterwards, because maybe it has some meaning.
I appreciate game time decisions, Mike.
All right, that's my last pick. Some contemporary Spanish Oi.
We'll be looking that one up too.
There you go. All right, Matthias, what's your last pick?
Last pick. All right. So this is. Oh no, I did one other hardcore record. Let's see. What is so? there were a bunch of bands like over the last few years that kind of had meteoric kind of like hardcore darling rises, and then they kind of flamed out through, maybe it was controversy or whatever it might have been. I don't know if I'd say this exact same thing happened to this band, although they did kind of just disappear with a very vague kind of breakup message when I feel like maybe they were at their peak. The singer went on to do some pretty cool shit I'll talk about in a minute too, but that I think just came out actually. But I'm going to talk about the second full-length or 12-inch, whatever you want to call it, by Truth Cult.
Yeah.
Walk the Wheel. It's on Popwig. It came out in 23. Baltimore band. Very much kind of in that, you know, they'll get compared to Swizz a lot.
Okay.
Swizz, Sweet Jesus. They had a demo tape that came out, I don't know, 2018 maybe or so, that I loved. Like, I thought it was fantastic. I listened to the hell out of it. And then they had their first LP, I think it was like Off Fire, I want to say it was called. And that one didn't land with me as much. I liked the demo like a lot better. And then there was a gap, and then this record came out, and I think this record front to back is phenomenal. Like, it's a progressed sound from like where they maybe left off, but I think it harkens back a little bit more to the demo. The guitar playing on this record is top notch. It's just, as someone who like finds guitar players and like maybe a Jason Farrell or a Pete from Verbal Assault or something like that, where I'm like, Brian Baker, you know, that I'm like, I love that style. So like in a modern band, like Ian's playing on this record, I think is comparable to that for sure. I think it's like still rooted in the same kind of inspirational music that the demo came from, but like this record feels like it kind of compresses like 10 years of like that sort of Discord progression into one record, right? So it's got there's like Lungfish in it at times. Like you might even hear like some nods to like a Sleater Kinney or a Jesus Lizard at times. There's one song on here called Medicine in particular that's very, very, very kind of Lungfishy. Oh, yeah. But it also has this like rock and roll swagger to it, like almost MC5 kind of vibe at times. Or the singer's got a lot of like babies and stuff like that thrown in there that like really kind of gives it like a different kind of feel. And then the singer Paris is in that band that I think Iron Lung just put out a record for No Idols, a 7-inch, I think it is.
Okay.
Really?
That's like more like fastcore hardcore. It's nothing like this at all. I mean, it's just way more aggressive, like good raging hardcore. But I don't know why this band like disappeared. Like I think they kind of like, I think Popwig is even like the somebody from Turnstile's label or something like that. So I mean, they were kind of adjacent to that whole world, and like this record got really great reviews and it was covered really widely, and then they just they called it quits. So, but I think this record's great. I think the demo's great. The first LP is decent, but I'd almost start here. Like if you get hooked into this record, then it might be worth going back and investigating the other stuff. But yeah, it's cool. Jay Robbins produced
what was
it.
The name of the other band you said?
Which one?
Band? What's the name of the
No Idols. It's on Iron Lung.
Okay.
I think it's just the 7-inch maybe. I think they had a demo tape, and then I think the 7-inch just came out very recently.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And that record rips. I mean, it's like, but it's nothing like Truth Cult. Like it's a very different band. But,
I love Truth Cult, like live and the records is so good.
Right. And I mean, like I was saying, Lungfish comparison, of course. I mean, their name comes from a Lungfish song too. So
okay.
But I mean, in this record too, the vocal duties get split between Paris and I think Emily, I want to say, is the bass player. So they have male, female vocals, and it's maybe 50-50. I'm not sure if that's totally true, but they don't do that as much on their previous stuff. So like, it's just got a different sound to it too. But it's a great record, and like, bummer they're not making music anymore. So.
Yeah, those records are great. Truth Cult's both records are awesome. The Swizz Worship is definitely there.
Yeah.
But it's so good. That was another band that was recommended to me. I spoke about Christopher earlier, a guy that I played music with, and he had recommended them to me. I think off their demo, and
the demo's great. I mean,
yeah,
there's also
I love them.
They did another tape when they toured, like in 22 or 3, I want to say. There was another cassette that they did that's pre-Walk the Wheel that I think has some I think they re-recorded a few songs, and then there's some songs that never were released on vinyl. So there's like a weird tape in the middle, like it's like Tour 23 or something like that.
I dig it, man.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Actually didn't know who they were, and I just my first like knowing of who they were was seeing them live, and they just blew me away. They like opened like Lifetime. I think the last time Lifetime played, they had them open in Jersey, and they like just blew the audience away. I was like, wow, man, this is fucking crazy good. How come I've never heard of this? But big fan.
Yeah, I forgot where I wound up seeing them. It might have been in Philly, but they were fantastic.
Nice. All right, Frank, it's your last pick. Choose one of the records that are spread out in front of you.
Wow. This was a hard one because I'm looking at four records.
Choose one.
No, so I'm gonna try to do. What's that? And they're all the same record. Yeah, just different variants of the same record.
Yes.
No, so what I'm going to try to do, real fast. I said this one, like leading up to the show, is that like I was kind of fanboying out because as somebody who came up from New York City trying to find music that wasn't New York based, because what happened to me was I played in a band that wasn't universally accepted in New York. So we kind of found homes in other places. So a lot of that stuff I found through writing letters, sending them off, and getting stuff back. And to Matthias's credit, was for a long time that was it for me. That's why I fell in love with everything Sarah Kirsch did. I fell in love with a lot of stuff on the West Coast, but there was kind of this person in Middle America who was releasing records, and that was Matthias, and with Council Records. So, and now Council Records in its new phase is doing wonderful stuff, which ties in Shep and Evan and Maddie and Vinny and a multitude of things. And to that is something that has kind of helped me as a person. It's formulated me. It's been a groundwork for me, stuff like that.
Shep keeps asking me to foster people from the East Coast, then I just end up keeping them.
So that leads me to my next pick is going to be a little bit of a twofer.
Okay.
It's only because I kind of want to spotlight the label that put these out, because the label that put these records out has been churning out stuff that is just like hit after hit for me. But these are like two highlights for me, recent highlights, and I'm hoping this doesn't mess up the YouTube algorithm. But
what algorithm?
The first band.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if that
No, okay.
So,
no problem with that. No problem.
so the first band on the label is the latest record from the band Whores.
Okay.
Period. They're a noise rock heavy band that plays in a sludge. But the rock tones that they come out with are fantastic. I've been a fan since I think their first record maybe was 2011. They put out their first EP. I have loved Whores, the band. I got to worry about sound clips.
Vinny's already sampled that.
I know, he sampled it and put it in an AI video. There's be something attached to pickles. But I absolutely love them. Their LP that came out, Gold, was damn near a perfect record for me. That was a record that I just listened to constantly. So when they put out this record, War, I knew it was coming out because the guy who runs the label that put it out, which is called the Ghost and Clear Records, Bobby had sent me like a kind of like, hey, I'm putting this out, and keep it secret. And I was like, yes, sir. It's such a good record, and Bobby has continually put out record after record after record, and just even if he's got to team up with 8 different labels, he believes in it so much. It feels so good when he puts something out, and a lot of the stuff he puts out, sometimes I'm like, I may not be 100% sold on it, but by the time I've talked to him and then like gotten the whole big picture, I'm like, wow, this is so much better than maybe I anticipated. And he's put out records by people I'm friends with. He put out a split 7-inch with our friend Antonio, who's in your Synapse. I did a split 7-inch with them. And then, so that ties me into the next. So again, Whore's record, great record. I can't say enough good things about the band. They're a force to see live. So as good as they are in the 2 LPs that they have, so the EPs were great. They were great. But when they put out their first LP Gold, it was like, fuck, this band is awesome. And seeing them live, it was like pressing play on your stereo and then just seeing somebody perform it. It was perfect. So when they put out this record, the benchmark was set. And the next time I saw them, I'm like, fuck, how does this band pull this off? So, Horse, War, fucking goddamn great fucking record. And that leads me to another discovery, because Bobby said, hey, I had put, yes, the less LP. Fucking, I'm telling you, Ghost is Clear Records has put out fucking bangers. So then there was this band called Sand Rider from the Pacific Northwest, and Sand Rider was a band where it's like, if you like Carp, Sand Rider was like the next logical evolution of Carp. And Sand Rider, I fucking love that band. But so Sand Rider has now kind of like moved off to different places, and one of the members of Sand Rider, who was also in a band called Akimbo, had kind of what I call bedroom metal, because he would write songs in his bedroom, and it was kind of like, so.
And they were metal.
Yeah, but so it's the same thing. Like Matthias put out Omega Glory, and I call Omega Glory bedroom metal because Brian from Omega Glory writes everything, and then Sean would add to it, and it was like they put out these perfect records, and it was just all fucking made in their bedroom, and it's fucking great, and it amazes me that it's possible. So that brings me to the next record. It's from a band called Nuclear Dudes.
Nuclear Dudes. That's a great name for a band.
Horrible artwork.
I like it.
It's horrendous.
Might be a lawsuit. It's looking a little Jack Skeleton.
But when I tell you, so again, all the strings are played from the member of Sand Rider and Akimbo. A lot of the drums are played from Cody, who is in Murder City Devils and the Melvins.
Interesting. Okay. Wow.
This is the only record he's on so far. The rest is all kind of program stuff. So okay. Nuclear Dudes has a bunch of releases all on cassette and digital, but this is the first vinyl that they did.
Wow.
It's fucking awesome. It's so fucking good. And it's like, it pulls from so many different things, again, this is me saying bedroom metal, because this is a dude who loves metal just coming up with shit, sitting in front of his computer going like, what can technology allow me to do? It's weird, it's quirky, it's noisy, it touches so many different things. And I was so happy that it came out on this label, because Bobby is one of the, like, Bobby plays in a band called Canyons, and they're another band where they're like, maybe they sound a little bit like Clutch, or they have some kind of other nods to things, but they just kind of pull from different things. But everything he put out, like somebody just posted, they put out the Less record. I'm at a loss now, only because I'm an idiot. But he's at a point where anything he puts out, I buy. It's just like he can email me and say, I'm putting out this band, I'm buying it. I don't need to listen to it. I'll listen to it when I get it. It's that fucking good. So that's my twofer. Whores, Nuclear Dudes.
Whores and Nuclear Dudes.
Ghost is Clear Records. Check out the label and just buy everything, and you're good.
Buy 3 of everything.
Buy 3. Well, he doesn't always put out that many. So the Yellfire LP that he put out had 3 options, which I bought. But most of but anyway, he's very simple. A lot of stuff he just puts out is on black. It just, I don't give a rat's ass what he puts it out on. The music is good, so I buy it. I don't subscribe to that, but I like color, I like weird colors, and I like design, Michael.
Which Michael are you talking to?
I know.
Design.
Shep.
Well,
Bring us home.
Right. Yes, Shep. Let's.
All right. So we get in our time travel. We're going to 2025 here.
Oh, nice.
Big jump.
These people. This is the Hundreds of AU recent record. Came out in 2025.
I knew you were going to pick it, so I didn't pick it. So close friends with everyone in this band. My band plays with them often. This is their first record on Iodine Records, and it's their first record with a floating singer, Brian Birdsey. They were always incredible. Tom Slaughter, he would hate hearing this, but pretty legendary in our world of music. Great guys. I'm actually going to see his other band tomorrow, Spirit Killer, at the singer of this band's other band's last show of Lesser Minds tomorrow night. But this record is pretty incredible. All of it is incredibly great. And then not that long ago, Matthias put out a 4-way split with them, and the song on that, which I guess was technically the last song they wrote as a 4-piece or 4-piece. I thought I still think it's one of the greatest songs ever that they really called Dark Winter. Right. Dark Like Winter. And Brian does this. They do it live, and he helps the song. But him joining the band added a new dynamic. It allowed Paul and Tom to play even crazier guitars than they already played. It became a little less screamo and but still screamo, but like almost like post screamo or post hardcore meets screamo. It's got some guest vocals, guest appearances. Jeff Rickley sings on it from Thursday. Ryan from Sanagi does some spoken word on what is my favorite song, which is Waves of Piety. I think Waves of Piety, right? Yeah. Life in Parallel is a song, like the opening track of it is such a weird song for them, but it's so great. Like, but when it first comes on, if you've listened to all their other records and you're like, and it comes on, you're like, what the hell is this? But it's fantastic. It's just, I can't say enough about it. It's probably my number one pick for 2025. Wow. I've said it a couple times. Vinyl's pretty spectacular looking. It's just a great record by really great people. If you haven't heard it, you gotta listen to it. So,
they're a powerhouse of a band. I mean, It's not.
It is. As our bass player likes to say, they are the best band in New Jersey, if not the world. It's funny, Frank, that I was worried that you were going to pick it. So I had like one of the.
No, I really felt that you were going to pick it. So I'm like, because I've known Tom forever, and when I tell you that he's one of the most special people that you'll meet, he's really just a fantastic person. So I'm biased because pretty much anything he does, I'm probably gonna get behind. But Hundreds of AU were just something that just one of so my band played a show, and it's one of the shows that we mark as one of the most amazing shows that we've ever played, and it was in a basement of a bar, and I literally got a gash in my head. So if you ever see my social media, if you see me covered in blood, it's from that show. I just love them. But when they put out the call, like, hey, we think we need a singer, I am 100% honest. When I reached out to the band and I went, please don't do it. Don't do it. And when I'm telling you today that I'm eating my words, I cop to it, because as somebody who said, please don't change your dynamic. When they added Brian, I was wrong. They are this LP was the evolution of the band. It's where they needed to go. It's so good. I love them as people. They're all great people. I particularly I've known Tom forever. I got to know Paul a little while ago, but one of my favorite people in the band is Buzz.
Buzz,
the bass player Buzz is I just love hanging out with him. When we play shows together,
all good people.
But the record,
let's get Buzz on the show.
It's honestly, if you could probably, so Paul, Brian, somebody like, I don't know him very well, but Brian posts on his social media like weekly. He puts out his weekly playlist of all the things. He might be somebody that you might want to get on the show. He's great.
He'd be great for the show.
Nice.
Yeah, New York in '64 was great, Daniel. New York in '64 was another band that was, again, anything Tom touched, I'm for. But Hundreds of AU is just great.
Literally just wrapped up working on some design for something that I can't say what it is.
Wow. Nice.
But again, and that's and good. And to Matthias's thing, this was part of a subscription.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Iodine Records subscription. It was Iodine Records put out this LP. It was a great LP. The subscription service was great. It's again, Shep. The 3 Mile Pilot, Hundreds of AU. There was a few other things where I was kind of like, he might pick. Just hold back.
You can sleep soundly tonight, Frank, knowing.
No, but I had it. I had it out. It was. Like I said, game time decision.
I think the record that Matthias thought I was definitely going to pick, and you probably thought that I had sitting here in case you picked it, was this 7-inch from Indian Summer.
Okay.
Which honestly, this record, I'm sneaking in a last minute pick.
You are?
You're like an old pro, Shep.
But this record, I remember bringing this home as a kid and put it on and like never hearing anything like it. And I, to this day, it's like, there's a song on here called Woolworm, and it's probably my favorite song ever. Like I love it. And I definitely influences a lot, everything about it, the packaging, like encompasses the 90s, like doing it yourself and saying like fuck big music and be like just putting it together yourself and like hand stapling 5,000 records or whatever, and Matt knows all about that.
And that aesthetic is up to win a Grammy in a month or something.
What did you say?
The aesthetic of the chipboard 90s is up to win a Grammy in like a month. Yeah. Amazing.
Chipboard 90s. big
that
fan.
just got invented.
Right.
But,
Again, we harken back to that is that everything goes back to certain things. So like, so my first band, we ripped off when Matthias was putting out stuff and Los Crudos, everybody was using Calumet paper company to put out this like chipboard stuff. So my band on the East Coast, we were like, how are they doing it? And then we like looked it up, like on Rudiment. Like I think it was like, I can't even remember the name of the web browser that I used to like look up
Netscape Navigator. Probably,
yeah, I don't remember, but I remember there being like a spider involved, and that's how we found out. Like, okay, they ordered from that place, so I called the place and I'm like, how do you do this? And it's kind of this all like big circle, and that's why I really love this. I probably wax poetic too much about it, but really love the connections that are made on this.
Beautiful. Yeah, this was a great show for me because like so much stuff that was unfamiliar to me, which I like, it's a great time, as I knew it would be. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. We're gonna probably carry on chatting a little bit after the camera started. We did do what we think we weren't gonna do, but that's fine. It's only 20 minutes.
Yeah, we would.
It's fine. We had a great time.
I did a podcast for 2 days.
Right. I've got to work
12:30 at night here.
I got to work next weekend, so there's no show. But in a couple of weeks, this could be a long show as well. This could be a long show. February 6th, Jeff Rice, Sarah Rischek, the man himself, Ebro.
Yeah, the man.
Chicago All-Star Show. Yeah.
As usual, 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then. Until next time, I'm going to do the greeting.
Hello, everybody.
Stay healthy and stay clean.
Yeah.